Hello and welcome to the Spoonie Stitcher channel. I'm Shannon the Spoonie Stitcher, you're inside the Stitchery, and I'm so happy you're here today. Today we are going to learn how to make my basic tot. If you don't know what a tot is my little character that I have invented that looks a lot like a tater tot type shape, and I turn it into anything I want. And that is the point. This little guy is so versatile, you can turn him into anything. I've turned them into movie characters. I've turned them into cartoons. I've turned them into just about anything, and now you can as well. As you might know, on my channel I have many TOT-torials, and I teach you how to make the different characters. But what if you want to customize it yourself? Well, I'm hoping, if you'll indulge me, to make this a little series on how to customize these little cuties for anything you want them to be. But first we're going to learn how to make the very basic tot. If you have never crocheted in your life, this is still a tutorial you can watch. I teach you all the way from how to hold your hook to making your very own first basic tot. So grab your hooks, grab your yarn, and join me for making your very own tot. Okay, so to make a basic tot, you just need a few things. You need a 4 medium worsted weight yarn, either a 3.5 millimeter hook or a 4.0 millimeter hook. And in some rare cases, a couple of my patterns do require the 3.25 millimeter. But I always tell you, most of them are made with a 3.5 or a 4. You also need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a stitch marker. Well, actually a few stitch markers. You can thank me later. And you either need a little bit of scrap yarn, some safety eyes for your eyes and detailing. So here we go. Okay, so first we need to figure out how we want to hold our hook. This is called the pencil grip. Place your thumb right about here. In a lot of ergonomic hooks there'd be a kind of a spot for it, but it's just somewhere on the base of your hook, somewhere near the top, and you'll hold it like you would a pencil, where you can do that. That's called the pencil grip. You can also do the knife grip, so you place your fingers like so, and you grip it like a knife. So if you're left-handed, and if you're right-handed, pencil, knife. There is no right or wrong way. It's whatever is most comfortable for you to hold your hook. Find out which way is most comfortable for you. That's the right way. To make a magic ring, lay out your fingers like this. So my thumb is up, my pointer finger and my middle finger are faced like this. Take my yarn and drape it over my fingers, like so. Take my thumb, pinch that yarn. My other hand will wrap the yarn in an X formation. Let me show you that again. So remember, it's draped over, my finger has pinched it. I'm going to just wrap my yarn in an X formation. Now I'm going to turn my entire hand, take my ring finger and my pinky, and hold that yarn. Take my hook. Right now, the head, that's what this part is called, the head is facing me. I need it to face downward. Going to slip my hook under this first loop and use my head to catch this and pull it. Now tip my hook like so. Spin my hook. Now don't hold too tight anywhere, otherwise you won't be able to do the next step. Now I'm going to take my hook and grab this yarn and pull it through the little loop we just created. like so. And now look at this. You can let go and everything is attached. If you need to watch that again, absolutely you can rewind and watch it again. But for everyone else, we're going to keep going. So how do we hold our yarn? Well, there are many ways to hold your yarn. First of all, it's going to be the opposite hand of the hand that you've chosen to use your hook in. Whatever your dominant hand should be your hook hand. Your non-dominant hand should be your yarn hand. Just hold it so that your yarn can slide through and that you can control how far it slides each time. Let me show you an example. Okay? I'm going to choose to control mine with my pointer finger while I chain. And then going back up the chain. See how it slides on my pointer finger? But it also slides through the rest of my fingers. And actually, my pinky is in control. I don't know how to show you that, but here. Like, I wrap this yarn so it's going to move. So it slides through like that. And my pinky puts a stop to it. Puts its little foot down. So that's how I hold my yarn. But there are a number of ways to hold it. Just hold it in a way that is comfortable for you so that something is controlling your tension and something is guiding your yarn. I would choose your pointer finger. It's easiest for it to guide your yarn, but that's completely up to you. Now that we have our loop, this is how we're going to hold our yarn. I'm going to take my hand and wrap it like so, and I like to direct with my finger. So I hold my yarn like this. I hold my yarn several different ways during this video because I always have to keep adjusting. So I just like to wrap my yarn the way it's comfortable. Okay, now with my other hand, I have my hook. And I'm going to hold my ring like this. I'm going to take my hook and go into the ring like so. Then I'm going to wrap and grab this yarn and pull it towards me. Now I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to wrap the yarn again and go through. That is 1 single crochet into a magic ring. Now I need 6 of these, so I need 5 more. So we're going to go in, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 2. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 3. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 4. Yeah. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 5. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 6. Let's make sure. Now, to count our stitches, I'm just going to pull this up a little bit. Okay. This loop never counts. The one that's on your hook, it will never count as a stitch. What you want to do is, you see these little V's? They look like little V's right here. These are your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then that 6th one's really important. That's where our hook is about to go into, so we want to make sure we see that one. This is what is really cool about a magic ring. This little short tail I'm going to pull to close the ring, but I'm not going to pull it all the way. I'm going to just gently pull it so that I still have a hole. You see that? See there's still a hole there? Because if I pull this all the way tight, to get my hook into that stitch will be almost impossible. So we want to make sure there's still some room here. I'm going to stick my hook into the very first single crochet we made, right there. Under both of these loops, so go under the V. Okay? Now, I'm going to take my yarn and pull it through. So I have 2 loops on my hook, wrap, and go through. That is a single crochet, and I'm going to mark it. Now what we're going to do in every single stitch around is we're going to do an increase. That is 2 stitches in the same stitch. So what I just did, I'm going to do again. I'm going to go in the same stitch, I'm going to grab the loop, I'm going to pull it up, 2 loops on my hook, wrap, and go through. And I'm going to do that in every single stitch around because, so what we've got is basically a hexagon. And what we're doing is we are going to do 2 stitches in every stitch. So it'll look like that. So we started with 6, but we're increasing by 6, so we get 12. That's what we want. We want 12 stitches around. We did 2. Now we go into the next stitch. Remember, go under that V, wrap, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, wrap, go through 2. That's 1. Into the same stitch, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go a little faster. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. 5. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 6. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 8. I almost lost track. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. 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 And our stitch marker is there to tell us to stop. Now what we can do is that little short tail, we can pull that now all the way, tight as you want, so that the little hole is gone. And I'm going to carefully just grab a couple of stitches on the back to make sure my little hole doesn't open up. So I'm just going to grab a couple of stitches. This is completely optional, by the way. You do not have to do this. It should just stay on its own. I just want to make sure that it stays. If you're going to give this to a child, please make sure it stays. There. Now, you can cut off the tail if it's bothering you, or you can leave it. I'm going to leave a small tail. I'm going to save this because I can use this as stuffing. Take out our stitch marker, and we are going to start doing staggered increases. Now, staggered increases are used so that we have circles and not hexagons. So what we do is in the first stitch, we do an increase, and then we do the steps we're supposed to afterwards. So usually it's just 1. So we do an increase and then we do a single crochet. And then in the next row, we start with the single crochet and whatever we're supposed to do. Usually it's the reverse, so we want to do 2 now. And then we increase. And then we do what we're supposed to do. So the reason we do that is so that, here, I will very quickly draw a very badly drawn hexagon. Remember when we did this? Well, it's creating, edges. And what we want is by staggering our increases, we will now get a rounder shape, or we're more likely to get a rounder shape. So here is one of my tots. See the bottom? No hexagon. That's what we want. Okay. Very first stitch, we are going to increase, which we have just done all the way for round 2. We're going to go in, pull up a loop, wrap, pull up, and in the same stitch, we're going to do that again, but we're obviously going to mark our stitch. There we go. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. Okay, in the very next stitch, we're just going to make 1 all by himself. In the next stitch, we are going to make an increase again. Not going to say it with you this time. Okay, that's an increase. The next one, we're going to make 1. The next one, can you guess? Increase. Next one is 1, increase, 1, increase, 1, increase, and the last one is 1 single crochet all by itself. You should have 18 stitches all the way around. Please count, but here is a quick little tip. If you started with an increase, your last stitch should be the single crochet all by itself. And the reverse is also true, which you'll see in the next round. Fun fact, if we were making a teeny tot, this would be our base. Bases for teeny tots are 18. Bases for regular ones are 24. And 24 is what we're about to make. So if you were making a teeny tot, you stop here. Round 4. We're just going to make 1 single crochet in the very first stitch. Just 1. And in the next stitch, we're also just going to make 1 single crochet. Now in the third stitch is our increase. So our pattern is 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. I would say that to yourself. It might be helpful. So let's do that. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, and the last one is an increase, which is perfect because we started with a regular single crochet. Now, please count your stitches and make sure you have 24 stitches for round 4. So this is our base. We're going to remove our stitch marker. We're going to place 1 single crochet in the next stitch and 1 single crochet in the stitch after. And this is what I do. We are about to make several rows in a row that are exactly the same. And to keep them straight and to tell myself that I am going around, I like to put my stitch marker on the side of the first stitch instead of the top in the V where we've been putting it. If you are a very first time beginner, don't do that. Just keep putting it in the stitch and count your rows on a little piece of paper on where you're at so you don't get lost. But if you're a little bit more of an advanced beginner, I would try the side trick because it's really cool. We're going to start to make a little line here of stitches, and you can just follow the line instead of counting every single time. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to make 24 stitches all the way around. That's it. Just go around for your 24 stitches. This is your foundation row, so I would count if I were you, because if this row is messed up, then everything will be messed up. And stitch count is important in Amigurumi. So we're not doing anything different. Nothing at all. We're just making single crochets, which we've been doing. 1 single crochet in every single stitch, all the way around till you get to the stitch marker. 24 stitches total. I will meet you at the end. So you should have stopped because either your stitch marker is here or here. So do you see why we stopped? See how that's, if I put it in here, that's clearly the next stitch. Okay. What we're going to do for round 6 through 13, you are just going to go around and around and around, 24 stitches every round. I would get a little piece of paper if I were you and just write down, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and just, cross them off as you do them, just to keep track. So I will meet you at the end of round. As we reach the end of our rounds, I want to show you something. Remember the stitch marker we put down here? You can follow it up. There's round 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then if I were to go in this stitch, that would be beginning round 15. Do you see how there's a beautiful little line there? It's a little crooked, but just barely. And you can follow your stitches up. Isn't that cool? We are trying to create that flat top that the tots have. We are going to do a single crochet 2 together in the back loop only. That sounds really complicated, but don't worry, because it's not. This is the front loop, this is the back loop. We are working in the back loop only, so these little front loops, we don't care. We're ignoring them. We're going to go in the back loop, pick up a loop, in the back loop, and pick up a loop. 3 loops on your hook. We are going to do the sharp decrease. Go through all 3. Boom. Now in the next 2 stitches, they are just normal single crochet in the back loop only. So just go in the back loop, make a single crochet. Next one, make a single crochet. And if you want, you can put your stitch marker in that decrease. So just count backwards. 1, 2, 3. You can also put it here on the ridge that is showing from the front loop. Let's do it again. In the back loop, bring up a loop. In the back loop, bring up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, go through all 3. And then 1 and 2. Going to show you that one more time, and then I'll let you do the next 3 on your own. In the back loop, bring up a loop. In the back loop, bring up a loop. 1, 2, 3, go through all 3. And next stitches, 2 single crochet. I will meet you at the end. Okay, now we stuff. Not too high, because we're going to need to add eyes soon. Look at your cute little tot. Now let's add eyes. We want to add eyes in the front, 6mm safety eyes. Unless you're making this for a child, then please don't use safety eyes. So here's our ridge for our back loop only row. We want to go down about 2 rows, so 1, 2. So you want them about 5 stitches apart. And now add your backs. Every stitch has a front loop, the one facing you, and a back loop, the one facing away from you. In an invisible decrease, we are taking the 2 stitches to become 1, like that. The reason that we like this over the single crochet 2 together is because this creates a tighter stitch, and so it's not as gappy and the stuffing is less likely to come out. Plus it looks neater. Back loop, front loop. Insert your hook in the front loop only. It's kind of angled. And then without doing anything, go in the next front loop. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Kind of hard to see, but there they are. Go through 2, go through 2. That is the invisible decrease. Looks nice, doesn't it? Okay, now that you learned how to do the invisible decrease, let's try it. Under the front loop, under the front loop, go through 2, go through 2. Mark. One. In the next one, we're decreasing. And in the next one, regular single crochet. Decrease. Regular single crochet. Decrease. And single crochet. Decrease. Single crochet. Decrease. Single crochet. Okay, this is an excellent time to stuff some more because you're running out of available space. Make sure it has the shape you want. This is probably your last opportunity to stuff, so this step is important. For this round, we are just going to decrease all the way around. 1, 2, 6 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. And fasten off. There are many ways to close a hole. This is one of my favorites, but I do have a video all about different ways to close a hole, so feel free to look at those. I will link them below. We are going to do basically an invisible decrease with our needle instead of our hook. It's very easy. Watch. Just like you did before, you're just going through the front loop, the one that's on top, and then you're going in the front loop of the next one. And that's it. And you do that 3 times. Last one, under the loop, under the next loop. Then I like to pull it tight, and I go through the center and out the back somewhere. Kind of pull it down so that that stays flat. And weave it in. And fasten off. Remove any stitch markers you don't need. Kind of roll it between your hands, tap it down, whatever shape you want it to be. The little tot is very basic. Now, as you notice, this one does not have a face. That is because we are going to learn the false French knot. So if you don't want to use safety eyes, here's the other option. You need some yarn scraps, not very big. I'm going to place it between my fingers like this. Cross. Take one side, twirl it around the yarn 3 times. 2, 3. Other side, do the same. 1, 2, 3. And keep your fingers in as long as possible. Gently pull. And then push each side of the little ball so that it turns into a ball and not an oval. This can take a little work. There we go. And we have an eye. And then we do it again. Cross, wrap, wrap, and pull. Eyes. Decide where you'd like your eyes to be. I think I want mine about here. Then go in. And the other side needs to go close, but definitely not the same stitch you were just in. So probably the stitch right down. So just skip the stitch, go down, and then out somewhere. And look at that. Now we need this one to go out the other side in the same hole as the last one. We will tie a knot. Double knot. And then hide the tails. These are short enough, I think I can just push them in. Now go over about 4 stitches and add the next eye. And voila, 2 eyes. And they're gonna stay in there and no children will be harmed. So, the false French knot, one of my favorite hacks. Okay, so that's really all you need to know. There are a million ways to personalize this little thing. Of course, you can change colors at different rows to make it look like pants, skirts, shirt, hair, all that kind of stuff. But that will be another video. Would you like this to be a series? Would you like to find out different ways to personalize your little tots? Let me know. You can personalize your tots a million different ways. This one was just screaming Ursula vibes. So I gave her some eyelashes and some little red lips and a little beauty mark. Sharpies. Amazingly wonderful crochet hack. If you guys ever want a video on me doing my Sharpie tricks, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me today. And remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. Bye!